Arsenal draw 1-1 at Brighton, but Jules, Mikel Arteta is pretty annoyed at that penalty William Saliba gave away.
Yeah, he said he'd never seen anything like this before. And
I can say I haven't.
Me neither. I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like this before. And I think Saliba touches the ball first anyway, and he wants to make contact with the ball. I would not have given the penalty. Some people agree, some people don't agree, even within our own ESPN family.
Should we explain the concept? The concept is he goes for a header and heads Joao Pedro's head instead. And the thinking is, okay, so if he'd gone for a clearance with his foot and hit an opponent, that would be a foul.
Yeah.
Now, like we said, it seems pretty obvious from the television replays that he strikes the ball first.
Yeah.
I get the concept, but Jesus, like, come on, man. Like,
I know.
That was odd.
Yeah, it was really odd, to be fair. It was odd. I think once he's given, though, VR is not really going to overturn it. Although I wonder
maybe they should, because they should look at it and be like, oh, look, he heads the ball.
I know. At the end of the day, it's still a headbutt in a way, because he does make contact with Joao Pedro's head when Joao Pedro is still going for the ball, has lost control of the ball. So I don't know. I thought it shouldn't have been a penalty, but I thought Arsenal were not good in that game either. I don't think a point away at Brighton is a bad point. But when you don't play well, and on top of it, you concede a goal like this, I can see the frustration.
He didn't play well in the second half, right? But Arsenal's three best attacking players are Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, and Martin Odegaard. The first two weren't there. The other guy played the last half hour or something like that.
Yeah, so, plus no Timber, no Martinelli either. Yeah.
What do you expect, right? The plan B is gone. The plan A is the set pieces. Right now, that's where we are.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's right now. It's Merino and Gabriel Jesus and guys like that.
Yeah, it's tough. Ethan Nwaneri filed in for Bukayo Saka again on the right and did well, but had to come off at halftime apparently with a muscular injury. Gab, what do you make of him in that role, and how big of a blow would an injury be?
So he's a phenomenal player, and so it's kind of like we get a little bogged down in positions and stuff. So yes, he is very talented, and so he can play on the right wing and be productive. But it's not just a question he's not as good as Bukayo Saka, not yet anyway, but he's a completely different skill set.
Yeah.
So obviously you'll be interpreting that position very, very differently. He's not going to run at people, run away from them. I don't think he has Saka's passing or Saka's finishing, frankly. He has other skills. So I think it's a big, big adjustment. I think he's just plugging a hole right now because he has nobody else. He needs to find somebody else. I'm assuming if Havertz is fit, I wouldn't mind seeing Gabriel Jesus on the right. If he has to play, at least you get something busy. But like I said, he needs to get Merino productive as an alternative, a productive alternative to Odegaard, because otherwise you're stuck.
Chelsea have to settle for a point away at Crystal Palace on Saturday. Gab, 2 points in the last 4 league games now. Is the Maresca buzz over?
No, Maresca was right. Maresca said we're not ready, and I think we're seeing that they're not ready. Now, that said, they could have won this game. In the end, there's no reason to play Cole Palmer into trouble. You don't expect Cole Palmer to lose the ball there, where he did. And obviously Nico Jackson had 2 great chances. One of them, why does he take the ball with the outside of his right boot? Who finishes? I mean, it would have been really cool if he'd done it, but why?
Yeah, I know. Unless you look at Modric, it's hard to do.
Yeah, or Ricardo Quaresma.
Yeah, Ricardo Quaresma.
2 wins on the bounce for Manchester City as they beat West Ham 4-1. But Jules, Pep says they're not back just yet.
No.
Is he right, or is he just being grumpy?
I think he's both. He's both right and grumpy, Gab, because that was not really a good performance. Certainly not consistently from City in that game defensively. They were far too exposed and far too open. Again, it's not the first time we say it.
Can I say something? I complain about Ruben Diaz when he's there, but when he's not there, it's so much worse. So much worse. Ruben Diaz.
You're right, absolutely. Yeah, you're right, it's so much worse. I mean, they could have been 2-0 down easily in that game before finding themselves 1-0 up with a lucky deflected cross from Savinho, and yet Haaland scored 2 goals for the first time in the same game for the first time since September. I think it's 2 wins in a row in the league for the first time since October for City, so there is progress, but there's still a lot of things to sort out for them.
3 points out from third place.
True. It's not far, though.
How about Newcastle, Jules? 6 wins on the spin, including the 2-1 victory at Spurs, and they're up to 5th on the table, and you're going to tell me how wonderful their midfield is.
Yeah, I think that one of the reasons why they're on this great run that came after, 4 or 5 games in a row without a win in all competitions. is, I think, the form of Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton. I mean, Tonali, I thought, was exceptional in this game, in his running and the pressing and everything that he did, the high-intensity sprints. It was great to watch. A bit like what they did at Old Trafford the game before that. And even in the second half, in both games, they kind of control and dropped a little bit deeper. They were still outstanding. They play on Tuesday night, so tomorrow, as we record the show, in the League Cup semi-final first leg away at Arsenal. So another massive game away from home in London. But they look great. Isak is on fire.
Alexander Isak, exactly, in fuego.
Yeah, 7 Premier League games in a row with a goal at least, so he's getting close to the
7.
record. Yeah, pretty good. And sticking with that game, Ange Postecoglou was furious after the game and could face FA charges, Gabby. He said that on another day, on a fair and even playing ground, we would have won the game. What does he mean?
Means he's unhappy with some of the officiating decisions. I don't have a problem with you being unhappy. I'd be unhappy too. I don't think they were cut and dried, but they could have gone the other way. The Joe Linton handball in the build-up to the first goal. Again, the rule changed that if it's an accidental handball, you don't immediately go that far back. But I thought this was pretty material in scoring the goal. And on top of that, I'm not entirely sure it was accidental that his arm was by his side from the replays I saw. There was also the Joe Linton headbutt on Bergvall, was it?
The elbow, yeah.
You know, all these things coming together. That said, dude, look at the XG in this game.
Yeah.
You got killed. And secondly, Ange, you can't be, I don't like VAR, they're ruining the game. I hate the way the referees have to get forensic. You either accept the decisions or you don't. You can't have it both ways. You can't be, I'm the pure guy who doesn't like VAR, doesn't talk about referees, and then go and unload on referees.
Yeah.
I think he will get a charge for this.
Yeah.
Leon Bailey scores the winner as Unai Emery's Aston Villa beat Leicester 2-1. Jules, last season, Bailey scored 10 league goals, 14 overall, all of them from open play. Saturday was his first of the season. Now, can he become an important piece in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think that's what they're hoping for. Certainly, if he can recover the form from last season, because he's had injuries this year. We saw
12 starts.
Yeah, 12 starts. We saw Morgan Rogers really exploding at that kind of level, and there's something for him on that right hand side. He was good in that game, and I think they're hoping that, especially with the injuries that they have right now, that he can continue like this.
Jules, I'm a big Stefan Bajcetic guy, as you know. Some of our audience may have forgotten about him, but he's been on loan at Salzburg with Pep Lijnders until his departure. Hasn't been great.
No.
Now he's linked to a loan move to Betis. Okay, I'm asking the obvious question. Why don't Liverpool just bring him back? He's fit again. He plays the same position as Ryan Gravenberch. He was very good before his injury.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Slot would have assessed him before he sent him on loan to...
Was he assessed? The guy was gimpy. He's injured. He was injured before.
Yeah, but he had surely the preseason before. When he signed for Salzburg, he was not injured anymore. So Slot would have seen him during the preseason when he had all his players.
Yeah, but maybe he thought he was getting Zubimendi at that point.
Yeah, maybe. But then I think if he was that good and they believed in him, they would bring him back. They would not send him again on loan to Betis. And if he was good, maybe he would play at Salzburg, and he's not. So I don't know what the problem is. I just don't think they really count on him. Otherwise, they would.
No, it's obvious that they don't. I'm saying they should. Yeah. They should.
Well, I think they probably know better than us, though. I like him too. I like the kind of player he is.
If he doesn't,
think he's...
I think ideally, if I'm Michael Edwards, what I look for, my ideal guy would be a badass central midfielder who can replace both Gravenberch and McAllister. Maybe also fill in at center back. Heck, maybe even at right back, if there is such a thing. Right?
Somebody who can play those 4 positions.
It's not that complicated, right? I mean, Endo's filled in at center back.
Yeah,
right.
Endo is not good enough.
Okay, fine, but I would look for that profile, right?
Yeah.
Just to give me that depth. But in Bajcetic, I kind of already have that there, right? Why not? Like, seriously, instead of sending him to Betis, Emmanuel Pellegrini, what happens, blah, 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 just keep him around. He's under contract for 6 months. No, because as I say, like, we like Endo, right? But Endo is the size of a garden gnome, right? Endo cannot do Ryan Gravenberch's job. We agree.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he can do a job, but not as good as the other two.
Not that job,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Harvey Elliott, I love him, but Harvey Elliott's profile is not to be number 6. Harvey Elliott can fill in for Curtis Jones or Soboslai, and I think he can still go back. He could go back to being a winger like he was originally. Why not bring Bajcetic back?
Yeah, maybe that's an option. Mikel Arteta spoke about the challenges Arsenal face in developing young players, and Gab mainly focused on multi-club ownership and what he said about that. But that wasn't the only issue he named.
Yeah, so this multi-club ownership, you know my views on this. I think most people who do it don't do it well, and it ends up costing them a lot of money, and actually doesn't help their first team. I don't know. Yes, we've been through this, right? Red Bull have made it work to a point. If you want to think of Watford and Udinese as multi-club, fine. The others, there's no synergy. There's just people losing money and whatever. But clubs love it, right? And data nerds love it because, oh, look, I'll put him here, I'll put him there, and blah, blah, blah. And you end up pissing off people at the different clubs. I mean, how much do Strasbourg fans love being owned by Blueco, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And besides, Arsenal are part of a multi-club ownership.
But they have one more, yeah.
They're the Colorado Rapids, yes. That's where they got Austin Trusty from.
Exactly, who scored this weekend, by the way.
There you go. Albeit he plays in a different country. And he's never played a minute for Arsenal. But
but he scored for Celtic.
But the other point I think that he made, which is something that's flown a little bit under the radar, is that since Brexit, obviously, clubs in the Premier League, they're not able to sign players under the age of 18 from abroad. And that's a FIFA rule. No country in the world is allowed to do that. There's an exemption for the European Union, or more accurately, the European Economic Area, and that has to do over freedom of movement, blah, 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 where they're treated as kind of one country, if you will, one citizenship. And I think he is onto something. It does hamper Arsenal relative to other to big clubs on the continent, and also clubs that maybe can sign guys via their subsidiary clubs.
Yeah,
so he does have a point on that one. That said, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like when you're 16, should you really be moving to another country?
I don't know. He worked for Cesc Fabregas, for example.
It worked, but sorry, if Cesc Fabregas had stayed at Barcelona, would that have impeded his progress as a footballer?
No. But
I don't like the idea of 16-year-olds being
transferred.
I don't think maybe some hardship cases or whatever.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Harry Maguire is getting a 1-year extension at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim told us.
Yeah,
Jules, few saw this coming.
Yeah, that's true. Although I guess I still think he's going to leave in the summer, and they're just going to recoup a bit of money, and that's the only reason why they triggered that extension. Because Amorim also said that he has to improve. He's not good enough right now. He plays because they need a bit of experience there, and the back three and him playing at the sweeper in the back three makes him look better than what he actually is. And he's not my cup of tea. But that's, for me, the only reason why they triggered that extension.
Okay. I will say this about Harry Maguire. I think he is not the most mocked center back in Manchester United's recent history, because that would be Phil Jones.
Yeah.
However, Harry Maguire has put up with so much crap.
That's true.
So much humiliation. Look, part of it is he hasn't lived up to his salary and he hasn't lived up to his transfer fee. Okay, we get that. But for him to stick at it, to continue, to keep pushing, when he could have said, all right, fine, I'm going to just leave and go and collect my money elsewhere.
Yeah, he wanted to leave in the summer. They just didn't accept West Ham's offer of 20 million and wanted more money. And then in the end, nobody came with more money. So he stayed.
I have a lot of respect for the way he's worked his way back in there.
Fair enough.
And from United's perspective, what we were talking before about the way the team looks. I mean, presumably De Ligt is their center back, is their central guy in the back three with Euro over on the right. Having Maguire as an extra body means that you don't need to go and spend. I mean, I think it kind of changes your profile. They will have to get another center back if you want to play with three. Yeah. You need to have 5 on your books, but it changes the urgency. You don't need to bring 2 guys in, right? So I think that's a bonus, and well done to him, because I'm happy for him. Yeah. He missed that sitter at the end, which, by the way, people made it seem as if, oh look, he missed the sitter of the season. When I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, surely Xerxes. I know you're unselfish, Xerxes. I know you like your assists.
That's what he does.
Yeah, but you're passing the ball to Maguire, who's winded and who's off balance. Surely Xerxes knows that his finish, even with all the Xerxes limitations, is going to be better than Maguire. So I didn't
have to be on target at least.
It was funny, the reactions of the players on the pitch. They showed this on Match of the Day here in the UK last night. They're all like lying on their back. They can't believe it. But yeah, no, well done, Harry Maguire. He deserves the extra year.